Hey guys, what's up? How are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault at Sports Talk Matt on Twitter to follow me. The BetMGM offer always available on the YouTube video. If you forget it, $10 bet listed above me. Promo code Juice150, you win $150 automatically with a new account with BetMGM. All right, so I'm a little annoyed. 0-2, so down 1 unit on the day. This is what unfortunately kind of happened. So I run hot and cold. So we were screaming hot for the first half of May. We'll see how we finish the month of May. But, Jake Odorizzi gets hurt in the Red Sox game. That stinks. The game gets rain delayed. That's a problem. And it's currently 6-3, I think, in the ninth inning. So we're probably, if you bet it late and bet 9, you may get a push out of it. I bet under 8.5. So Red Sox bats got hot 6-3. It was 3-3 into the 8th inning. We were doing, things were going all right. And then Red Sox get after the bullpen for the Astros. And that game's going to go either over or a push. And then the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, it's 2-0, 2-0. Bottom 5, which is always scary. Bumgarner gives up 3 runs. We bet under 4.5. It goes 5. So it's a half a unit loss on that. Could be a 1 run or a half a run. We could wind up losing 2 bets by 1 run. That's just a bad night. It's a bad break, bad night. It's baseball. Baseball. Not fun. We have 3 playoff games today for you. It is a Totals Tuesday. So we will get into 3 bets, 2 hockey, 1 NBA to get to. From a total perspective, you might be able to predict where I'm going with these, but it is a Totals Tuesday for us coming into the postseason here. But before I give you that, let me tell you about our friends at Sleeper, the fastest growing daily fantasy platform. Millions of players. You may have a league on there already, but Sleeper now has a new game. Their over-under game you can play. Super simple. Any sport, you get points in basketball, hits in baseball. Choose the amount of money you want to enter into the contest. If you pick correctly, you can win anywhere from 2 times to 20 times the money that you put in. There's a chat feature in there. You can play against your friends. Download Sleeper today to play their new over-under game and have fun with your friends. Make some money on your mobile phone. Join our listener group on Sleeper at sleeper.com/dailyjuice. And Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit of up to $100. That's sleeper.com/dailyjuice. And Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. Again, go to sleeper.com/dailyjuice. $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. All right, so we know we're doing a Totals Tuesday here today. So 204 is a really low total. I mean, that's really low. Boston on the year is 47, 45, and 1 to the under. Miami on the year is 50, 42, and 1 to the over. However, Miami against the division, their division, 13 and 18 to the under, and 34, 28, and 1 against the Eastern Conference. And Miami, 8 of the last 10 games for Miami have gone under. The books are still searching for a basement. For Boston, 7 of the last 10 have gone under. On the road, Boston 23, 22, and 1. Miami at home, 23, 23, and 1. So pretty much 500 when it comes to being against the number from a total perspective. The Boston Celtics had a total of 199 against Cleveland back on the 15th of November. That's the lowest total of the year. 202 was the next. Both those games against Cleveland, they both went under by 22 and by 9 points. When Boston first played on the road against Miami back in November, the total was 213.5. Game went under by 40.5 points. 95-78 victory for Boston. The second time they played, the game was being played in Boston. 209 was the total. The game went over by 5 points, a 122-92 win for the Boston Celtics. And the third time that they played back on the 30th of March, also again at Boston, 213 was the total, 106-98 loss for the Celtics. The game went under by 9 points. 204 against Milwaukee, it was 218 at the top, 205.5 at the bottom. Game went under. It was an under series. 5 of the 7 games for Boston against Milwaukee went under, and now we sit at 204. For Miami, same deal. Against Atlanta, every game went under against Atlanta. Against Philadelphia, it was 4 of the 6 games against the Philadelphia 76ers went under. 204, again, is the low for the postseason here for the Miami Heat. 206 against Philadelphia in the closeout game, under by 17 points. That game was 99-90. In the games at home against Philadelphia, 208 went under by 10, 208.5 went over by 13.5. I'm going to bet the streak here, but look it. I understand you want to fade me and get into this. Okay, I'm telling you what I am betting, but this could be a rough week. I'm just kind of giving you a heads up and a preference, knowing how I go. My logic is here to go and bet the under until we get the bottom. I'm going to tell you this, though. This is only a half a unit bet. Whomever loses game 1, I will bet a full unit on them in game 2. Okay, so if Boston wins game 1, I'm betting Miami full unit in game 2. If Boston loses game 1, I'm betting a full unit on Boston to win in game 2. I will have a personal play on Miami minus 1.5. I do think Miami wins this game in game 1. It's a tough turnaround for Boston. Miami's very good at home. They're a difficult team to face. They've been resting. They've been sitting for 5 days. Miami's healthy, rested, and ready to go. And Boston is going on the road to a place where Miami is 35-12 straight up. 35-12 straight up at home. Boston 27-19 on the road. They're really, really good straight up on the road. They're phenomenal. But Miami against the East, 43-20 this year. Miami's a really tough team. They're the 1 seed for a reason. They're going to be a tough team and a tough out. I lean, or personal play would be Miami minus 1.5 in this game, but I am taking the under 204 for Miami and Boston for a half a unit. All right, that's basketball for the night. Hockey, game 1, Tampa Bay and Florida. The books are being jerks, like just straight up jerks. So many books here at the time of tape are at minus 130. If you want to bet the over 6.5, it's minus 130. There are some books, FanDuels and others, who have decided to go and put this to 7. You get even money going over 7. I would rather lay the juice and win than push. Okay? So I will lay the minus 130, but you got to shop here. Tampa Bay and Florida playing against each other 4 games this year. 4-1, that's an under. 3-2, that's an under. 9-3, Panthers at home, that's an over. 8-4, Lightning, that's an over. So at right now, series is tied 2 games apiece. Each team winning once at home and once on the road. 2 overs, 2 unders. Okay, so there's not much you can grab hold of this here in the regular season as to how this game's going to go, except that we know these teams score. Panthers and Washington, that was pretty much an under series, but it was 5-1, 6-1, 3-2, 5-3, 4-3. Okay, so over, under, okay, over the last 5. So 3-2. For the Lightning, 2-1, we bet the under. Oh, I guess I had a personal play on the under in that game, but also had Tampa minus to win the game, money line. But 4-3 over, 4-3 over, 7-3 over, 5-2 over. So 4-1. It was an over series against Toronto. Bobrovsky taking on Vasilevsky. I mean, these guys are going to give up 3 goals each. I think this is a 4-3 win for one team, either or, okay? I'll lay the half a unit over 6.5, Tampa Bay and Florida for a half a unit. And the same thing, I'm doing the same exact thing coming in on the late game with the Blues and the Avalanche. In the regular season, 5-3, 4-3, 5-3. Over. 3-0 over St. Louis and Colorado. And we know how the Blues play now. They play wide open. 5-1 against Minnesota in the last game. That was an under. But 5-2 over, 5-2 over, 5-1 under, 6-2 over. So 3-2 over the last 5 to the over, 6.5 for the Blues. For the Avalanche, 5-3 over, 7-3 over, 2-1 under, 7-2 over, 4-1 is the under. So 3-2 as well for the Avalanche. They sweep. They've been resting. They've been sitting. You might say St. Louis wins the first period for that reason. Maybe that's what you jump into. But, we'll see what ends up happening here between these two. I tend to sit there and lean in and grab a hold of the over -130, Blues, Avalanche, over 6.5. Half a unit, jumping in. All right. So for totals Tuesday, under in the basketball game, under 204, over 6.5, -130 in both hockey games. Let's go 2-1. I don't think we sweep the board here, just where we are, but hopefully I'm going to go 2-1 here on this, and we get one of the two games for hockey to go over, and we get the basketball game to go under, or both overs in hockey and the basketball game goes under. We'll see. That'll be a winning day for us here with the 2-1 mark. If you want sides, I would lean on Miami -1.5. I would lean Colorado on the puck line, and I would lean on Tampa to win the game on the money line for plus money. If you want to get involved, that's how I lean on the side. But officially, 204 under Boston, Miami, over 6.5, -130 for Tampa and Florida, -130 over 6.5 for the Blues and the Avalanche here on a Totals Tuesday. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter @SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's Daily Juice Podcast, always being brought to you by BetMGM.